So this is one of those minutes that is going to fall on deaf ears for the people who really need it. And it's going to just be applauded by those who really don't need it. But I'm doing it anyway. Don't be a cheapskate. Just stop with your cheapskate ways. All right, let me explain that. One of my frustrations in life in general, and certainly in the DJ world, is people who are cheapskates. So for example, they will go to their local music store, shop for a product, get all the information, and then go shop for it on the internet because they could save $50 on a $1,000 item. I mean, the margins on the stuff that we buy are pretty low. There's just not a really big difference in price. And I see it all the time, and I'll use, this is not a commercial for Ben Stowe at Northern Lighting Effects, NFLX, but I see it all the time where he has gone way above and beyond to try to help somebody, and then they don't buy the product from him. They go somewhere else. But it's not just him. It's everybody. I see, people from the Nikon, from Promo Only, giving out all this helpful advice, and then people are like, ripping music illegally. The cost of doing business is the cost of doing business. And, by all means, if you're buying a commodity and you're just going to shop online for the, XYZ mixer and nobody's helping you with anything, and, one place is a little less than the other, fine. However, do you know who you're buying from? Like, for me, I would rather buy from somebody who I know and trust and who's been around and who has supported the industry and pay, $25 more. And the reality is, most of the time, if you really had to, they probably would match the price. Most places will do that if they can. Although for me, I wouldn't ask to do that. People are cheap. We went out to breakfast a couple of days ago, and we had a really long way. It was a really neat little diner up here in Groveland, and they were super busy, and they have a sign that says, great food takes a while, please be patient. But it was beyond reasonable. It was an hour wait after our food for breakfast food. And ultimately, when they brought the food, they apologized and said, we'll give you a refund on the food. But we said, no, because you're giving us the food. I'm not going to take the food and the refund, right? And she said, well, is there something we can do for you? And I said, can I have a cookie? And she's like, absolutely. She gave me a cookie, right? So, but it was really more of a joke, although I did eat the cookie. But don't be cheap, right? Support people. Like, you're all complaining because clients, go, I found another DJ who'll do the same thing for less. And you're like, but it's not the same thing. Well, products are kind of the same thing, but the service that goes with it is not. And just don't be so cheap. Like, if you're going to buy a house, maybe you negotiate. If you're going to buy a car, maybe you negotiate. But come on, man, if you're buying a microphone or a mixer or something that's, doesn't even have a comma in the price, calm down, people. Pay a reasonable price. Develop a relationship with people. I mean, that's, one of the cool things. Like, my go-to guy was Ben Stowe for a lot of stuff. And I don't know if I always got the lowest price, but I can tell you he never overcharged me for anything. So, but the cool thing is, I always knew I could, send Ben a message and get a response back right away. And Ben knows I'm going to do stuff with him. I mean, I have the same bank I've used for 30 years, even though we've had some issues, ups and downs. But I go in and they go, oh, I see you've been a customer of ours for 30 years. And I get a little bit more. And be loyal where you can. not blind loyalty, but be loyal and be grateful for what people do, and don't be cheap. I mean, for crying out loud, get your music legally, if you're going to buy products, do that stuff. I see people go to the conventions, like, anybody have a free pass for the convention? I'm like, oh my God, I think the most expensive pass for any convention is like $300, right? And most of them are less than that. And people are like, oh, I don't know where I can get a pass. I'm like, if you aren't going to get $300 worth of information, you shouldn't even be going. And by the way, if you're not getting $300 worth of information at a convention, it's not the convention, it's you. You have a closed mind, because I've never, ever gone to any conventions, and I've probably gone to more than anybody, and not gotten my money's worth. So just stop it. Pay the money. See you next week. Buy my DVDs.